Drake has officially filed an appeal, and he's released essentially a statement, and he's doubling down on his original lawsuit. Let's go over this. Although Drake remains as dominant and successful as ever in his career, the Kendrick Lamar beef continues to provide some big obstacles. He tried to sue UMG for defamation over Not Like Us diss track, but the court dismissed it. Still, this doesn't mean the fight is over for the OVO mogul. According to All Hip Hop, his lawyers just filed a civil appeal pre-argument statement in the U.S. Court of Appeals, doubling down on their appeal efforts. Per the publication, the statement accused Universal Music Group of knowingly publishing and promoting unambiguous and false factual allegations of pedophilia in the song. Attorneys also brought up the record's artwork, promotion, and music video. They reportedly plan to discuss much more in the appellate court. Elsewhere, the filing also accuses UMG of malicious intent to prove its worth to KDOT via a short-term exclusive contract. This contrasts in Drake's attorney's view to how his contract with the label allegedly expired without renegotiation. As such, they believe Universal Music Group knowingly pushed defamatory images in pursuit of profit and financial gain. In addition, the filing reportedly mentions the attacks on Drizzy's home and threats to his loved ones. Also, it claims that he tried to reason with UMG concerning this effect, but that they didn't stop promoting Not Like Us. You may remember how Grammy wins in a Super Bowl halftime show slot also came up in the original lawsuit. As for Kendrick Lamar and UMG, neither party has publicly commented on this appeal. In fact, beyond a jab during the Super Bowl, the Compton lyricist hasn't talked about the situation directly at all. Yeah, man, Kendrick Lamar. This is what I'm saying, man. I wish we got interviews, man. In today's time, it's like Kendrick just drops project, disappears, never talks about anything, and then this goes away as the years go on. Nobody ever asks him because, time's flown and people just, I don't think people give a shit after a while. And, it's like, there's too much shit. Like, especially like, imagine Eminem's career, right? It would have been cool to have him speak about like, what did you think when 50 Cent and the Game were beefing? Like, what was your take on it? Did you give 50 advice? Were you like, nobody's really asked him like questions about just moments that happened that he just hasn't done interviews about. There's just like, I don't know. There's moments where I would love to know what some other artist was thinking at the time, or what that artist specifically was thinking at the time. And I feel like a lot of artists nowadays just don't address those situations. They'll probably do an Instagram post or like that Super Bowl thing quick. It's like, I wish we got interviews, man. I wish it was mandatory for like every artist to do a sit down interview every time they did an album rollout. Like when GNX came out, like there would have to be, I wish it was mandatory for him, like in the contract with Universal or whatever, for him to sit down and do at least 3 interviews. Something like that. Something where it's like you have to at least do something. But nowadays it's turned into a really just drop an album, surprise drop an album, shoot a couple of music videos, if that, and then go on about your business. It's really unfortunate. I think that's why hip hop is slowly dying as well. Because I think, let me just check just to make sure. Let's see if Morgan Wallen does interviews. I'm just genuinely curious here. He's like one of the biggest fucking country people ever. Let's see. Morgan Wallen, 6 months ago. Morgan Wallen, 7 months ago. The series featuring Morgan Wallen 4 days ago on Spotify. Morgan Wallen, I'm proud and taking accountability. Apple Music, 6 months ago. Morgan Wallen on E! News, 6 months. Yeah, so he's doing interviews, bro. He's doing interviews. There's nothing more you can say about that. He's doing interviews. Post Malone does interviews. He's out here killing it in the country world. Let's see Taylor Swift. Does she do interviews? I don't think she does. She's probably one of the few that doesn't. No, look, like Taylor Swift was on fucking The Tonight Show 1 month ago. She was on BBC Radio. This is Taylor Swift, and I'm genuinely surprised. She's on Apple Music doing interviews. She's on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. She's on Capital FM doing interviews. Like, this girl's doing interviews as if she's some artist that's selling 10,000 copies. She sold 4 million copies, and she's out here doing interviews like it's like her career depends on it. And here we are. We got Kendrick Lamar with one fucking Apple Music interview before the Super Bowl show, and that's it. What is going on in hip hop? This is why hip hop is dying as a fucking art form. And it's not just solely because of interviews. I know I'm not putting the blame solely on interviews and saying, oh, it's because, but like, why are hip hop artists acting like they're just better than everything and they don't have to do interviews? Like, why? When did this become a cool thing? Like, when did this? I think I blame this shit on Jay-Z. I swear, it's somehow tied to Jay-Z. This podcast just needs to be called the Rock Nation Conspiracy, because Jay-Z wouldn't really do interviews like that. I just remember he would be a person that wouldn't run around doing interviews later on in his career. Obviously, in the 2000s, everybody had to do interviews. There was really no choice. But as the social media stuff came, it became less and less accessible. I think that just made people do the same shit, man, follow his path. I don't know. I don't know who to point the finger at and be like, this is the person as to why people aren't doing interviews anymore. I don't think it's Jay-Z's fault, because Eminem stopped doing interviews after like Recovery, Marshall Mathers LP2. He did a few here and there, maybe if we're lucky. But it's just corny, man. It has turned into the wackest shit in hip-hop ever. Like, I'm going on a whole rant here because it's like Taylor Swift. This lady moved 4 million albums and is doing interviews as if she's a brand new artist. She's on every platform doing every interview. Like, what happened to that? Why didn't, when Eminem did the Death of Slim Shady, why not go on The Breakfast Club, do an interview? Go on Drink Champs. Go on Diverse Mentality, this platform that really respects you. Go on, I don't know, any platform. Do multiple. Don't do an interview with yourself. Like, that's so corny. It's just whack. Drake as well. Drake's out here doing interviews with some random ass girl and random ass people. Just like, come on, man. What happened to doing, like, shout out here, because I wanted to talk about this actually on the podcast. Shout out to the Clips, man. Shout out to the Clips. Their album perfectly encapsulates, is that the right word? Encapsulates the 2000s in hip hop the best way in a modern style. Their album sounds like a 2000s hip hop album, but in a modern style. It is very well executed, man. The more and more I listen to this project, the more I'm very appreciative of it. On top of that, they went and did interviews with literally everybody. They didn't sit there and just drop a fucking album and a music video and disappear. Like, they went out and did interviews. It felt like a 2000s promo run. And shout out, round of applause to them, man. Not only did they release an album that sounds very good, unique, different, but they also did a run that was unique. And it's crazy that we're saying doing interviews to promote your album is a unique and different run. That's crazy to say that. Like, that should be a norm. That's what the norm was. So shame on all these hip hop artists who act like they're bigger than fucking life and just don't do interviews. Like, that's so, because we're going to get all these moments. Like, how great would it have been? Shout out to Eminem, because he actually did this. And when he was beefing with Machine Gun Kelly, like, he went and did an interview. Yeah, was it a safe interview with Sway? Yeah, it was. But at least he did an interview and he addressed what was going on. That's what we want. When Drake and Kendrick were going at it, how cool would it have been for both of them to eventually do an interview talking about it? To get the deeper meaning, the deeper things in this. Instead, both fucking cowered away. One guy started doing interviews with some fucking random girl, and I don't know who else the fuck he did interviews with. Just terrible interviews that had nothing to do with hip hop. And then one guy just fucking drops a project and disappears into oblivion like he never existed. Both are whack as fuck for that. Both are. I don't know how I went on this tangent. I think it's because of the Double Down UMG. No. Yeah. I don't know. Regardless, man, I would have liked for them to speak on these things during, the issues. Now, who knows if they're ever going to talk about it? Years down the line, if anyone's ever going to ask them about it, who knows? It's just whack. It's corny, and this is why. This is one of the reasons. I'm not saying this is the main reason, because definitely it's not the main reason, but it's one of the reasons why hip-hop is slowly fading away as a genre. Because the artists act like they're too big to do interviews. They act like they're these celebrities, these high. When you got Taylor Swift, who sold 4 million. If anyone shouldn't be doing interviews, if anyone should act like they're the biggest ever, it should be Taylor Swift. Yet you got so many Taylor Swift interviews out when her album came out. She literally, I can go right now on YouTube and I already went through and found 7 to 8 brand new interviews that dropped a month ago when her album came out. Because she doesn't act like she's above things. She sits there, does interviews, and does her promo. What happened to that? You rappers that are hiding and not doing interviews and acting like you're bigger than life, stop it. It's corny. It's whack. It takes away from a lot of shit. It's stupid. Look at the clips. Perfect rollout. Perfect album. Anyways, I'm repeating myself at this point, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes out on this UMG appeal statement and see what happens moving forward.